Hi, welcome to Curse of Strahd. I hope you're having a great day because we're all having a great day. And watching this will make it that much better. Okay, let's start. Last time on CharmedPersons plays Curse of Strahd, the party all convening in the small town of Daggerford for various reasons, whether it be redemption, chasing the demons of your past, just plain curiosity, but you have been led here by visions. A person who claims to know much about your past and much about your future. You were all given cards, not understanding exactly their true nature, but you met up and met a man named Stanimir, a person who was a Vistani, traveling band, brightly colored troupe of storytellers. He told you a quick story about a tale of a prince who was attacked, but the Vistani saved him and they had a pact and offered to give you a ride to Madame Ava, who is seemingly the person in your dreams. You took his offer, got in his wagon, traveled down the road before suddenly stopping. You found yourself alone in a empty, dark, abandoned forest road. You traveled through the mists until you came upon a dead body strewn across the ground. There you found a slightly ominous letter detailing how a local burgomaster pleading for help that his daughter has been attacked by a vampire. You continued down the road, slightly chased by wolves, but not attacked until you came across a quiet, empty, seemingly almost abandoned village. You traveled down the streets. You met an old woman who gave you some pies, and directed you towards the lone shaft of light coming from any of the buildings in town in the center, right in front of a bar, a tavern called Blood on the Vine Tavern. And we start as you swing the doors open to this establishment. As you do, you can see that inside of this tavern it's small, rinky-dink. There are boards covering most of the windows. Most of the tables and chairs are kind of broken and shoved off into one of the corners. Not a lot going on here, but you do see a few people. There is a short, kind of pudgy, bald man who is the bartender, who is kind of looking down and absentmindedly cleaning some empty glasses. There is one patron, it seems like. There is a lone man in his mid-20s who is sitting at one of the tables drinking a glass of wine. And you see in the corner 3 women, middle-aged, dressed in brightly colored robes and clothes. I think that you would all recognize these women, the 3 women. No one else in the bar, but the 3 women definitely are Vistani. They have the same type of bright colored robes and sashes and jewelry. And as you kind of step into the tavern, taking solace and refuge from the rain and the gloom outside, you see those 3 women in the corner kind of are in the midst of a conversation. And you see one of them turn to another and says, you overhear her say, "Alenka, we have patrons, clean yourself up." And the woman who's supposedly Alenka turns and says, "Mirabelle, get off my back!" And as those 2 are bickering, the 3rd one kind of slides over to you as you walk in the bar, and she says, "Hello there. My name is Sorvia, and I am the owner of this tavern, The Blood on the Vine, along with my sisters." She kind of glances over her back at the 2 women behind her, and she says, "Please come in and make yourself comfortable. We have the best wine selection in the region."
Okay, that was so much. Right.
As you speak up, Richard, she turns to you. She goes, "Oh my, do I know you?" She puts her hand on her shoulder and kind of rubs it a little bit.
I don't know. Do you know me? How would you know me?
"I don't know. You just look familiar." And Very, very cute.
Seems to get around in your travels, Richard.
We got ourselves alive in there, folks.
Well, there's sort of some issues with what this arrangement would be, but no, I don't think we've met. Hi, I'm Richard. Nice to meet you.
I'm Sorvia. And then as she says that, the two other women kind of flutter around you, Richard, like birds flapping around its prey. And they all kind of are grabbing onto you, and you see them say, "Oh, you are so cute. Oh my God. He's mine. He's mine, Sorvia. Maribel, he's mine."
Okay. This is really attention is fascinating. Really appreciate it. We just really want. I think we have some rooms for the night.
Well, hold on, ladies first. Also, do you know a man who seems to be of your same culture? Not to imply you all know each other, but we came here with a man named Stanimir. We lost track of him on our way into town.
They all look to each other and shrug and look back to you and say, I've never heard of anyone named Stanimir. I'm sorry. Of course, there's lots of Vistani. Could be any one of us.
How about a Madam Ava? Does that ring any bells?
You see Sorbia, who seems to be, somewhat of the leader. They're all three of them are definitely sisters, if not twins. They look very identical. But Sorbia says, "Oh, yes, Madame Ava. She is nearby at Serpool, is an encampment for the Vistani. I would be careful if I were you going there. It's not a nice band of Vistani. Not like us, of course. We're so accommodating."
Naturally.
So very attentive.
We were on our way to see Madame Ava when we got a little sidetracked.
All right. Well, I wouldn't travel outside at night if I were you. Just how about you wait the night away in our bar? Eric? She looks over at the bartender. What if I just called your real name in that moment? She looks over at the bartender, this man who kind of looks up a little bleary-eyed, and she says, "Eric, I'll make them 4 wines. Make it the Dread Dragon Crush, all right?" Eric wordlessly nods and starts filling up glasses for you.
Good stuff.
Yes, I suppose we don't really mind a break from the cold weather. You see, it's not good to travel outside at night. I got that vibe. Have you traveled outside of this village in recent?
It's, as you can tell, it's a pretty dour place. So sometimes I'll go down the road to, there's a nice lake there that I come and wash my little feet. But I mostly live here.
Where do you get your supplies from? Who restocks the tavern?
Oh, well, there's mostly we have wine, and there is a winery. It's pretty far away near Kresk. It's a few days travel.
Thank you. Sorry, just curious.
Of course. At this point, the man who's sitting by himself in the bar kind of gestures and looks up to you, Salvatore, and he says, "Hello there. My name is Ismark. I will buy you a drink if I could just talk with you for a few minutes. I have a potential request."
You had me a drink. What's up, little fella?
He kind of motions for you to come over to him, and he's kind of sitting 20 feet away in the back corner.
We're gentlemen. We want to go sit down.
Can we all join your company, sir?
Yes, of course. I can tell that you are outsiders. If you want, I have lived here my entire life. I can give you the lay of the land.
Wonderful. Eric will be sitting, gentlemen, over here.
Eric's kind of hot. I'm just gonna say it.
Eric does not say a single word or even acknowledge that you say anything to him. He's just kind of head down, pouring some wine into some glasses.
Seems like he's stealing the ball.
Strong, silent type. Go sit down, boy.
Petra, what are you doing in this moment?
Petra, not forgetting, because she walked in with it in one hand, once she gets her glass of wine, starts digging into the spiced pie that she was given.
Forgot about the pies.
Yes.
Forgot
Yeah,
about the pies.
pies.
Yeah, it's you take out the
That
pie.
was good.
It smells incredible. And in fact, like the smell just immediately takes up the majority of this small kind of tavern. Richard, these three women are like surrounding you, and they're talking. You're like, now you're obviously not from around here. We haven't seen you. Where did you come from?
Oh, I mean, I'm from here, I'm from there. You know, I was recently in Daggerford. I've gone to Baldur's Gate for a little bit. Would have been, you know, all over.
I don't recognize the names of those towns. Have you been to Valaki?
No, I don't recognize the name of that town.
All right, interesting. Oh, so you were like a real outsider. Woo, this is exciting. We haven't had a real outsider in a couple of years.
Couple years. So your village just kind of people just kind of stay here. No one really ventures.
Yeah, of course people stay here because they can't leave unless you're a Vistani.
Do you mean sorry? So you can't leave, like metaphorically, you can't leave. Like, oh, we love it so much, or do you mean like physically incapable of leaving?
Well, I mean, I haven't tried myself. Of course, as a Vistani, I'm free to leave as I please, but you're welcome to try to walk through the mists.
I think we already tried that. Why can't people leave?
Because the Count says you can't.
So the guy at the castle, it's right up there, he just decides that like if you're not Vistani, you can't.
Of course he decides it. He owns everything here. Please, how about this? Okay, come with us to this table. I have a good game to play with you. It's a drinking game.
All right, I think I'm gonna need that after that information.
They drag you to a table on the opposite side of the room for the rest of the party who have sat down with this man. This guy, you can see, he's young, not. He seems weathered, kind of longish hair, wearing battered but somewhat nice leathers. And he says, "Hi there. I'm sorry to, be so forthright to ask you to talk, but I noticed that you're outsiders. I would be careful around those three." And he gestures over to the three women.
I think Richard can handle himself. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure Richard can. I'm just saying, they're Vistani. I don't mean to stereotype, but I don't know. They might be working with the devil. He kind of glances around, lowers his voice.
The what now?
The devil.
I look back over my shoulder, and for the last time today that I can, I kind of like say a prayer underneath my breath, and I activate my last divine sense. So,
right.
Anybody in this room who is celestial, fiend, or undead, I will know.
All right. You look over. The man that you're talking to does not ping anything. The three Vistani women around Richard do not ping anything. There is a slight, almost hard to recognize ping of undead from Eric, the bartender.
Damn it.
It's almost like it's not enough.
It's not like he himself is undead.
Yeah, there's like traces of it.
Okay. I just kind of note that and
Ismark continues and says, I just want your friend to be safe, because please, if you are outsiders, I am desperate and I need your help. My sister lives nearby, and my father is the burgomaster of this town.
What's his name?
Cullinan Indirovich is my father.
We
is that
found
the guy? Is that the?
we found a letter from your father on a corpse just at the...
Do you hand him the letter or show him the letter?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. He takes the letter and reads over it, and his eyes go wide, and he says, "Oh yes, oh my gosh, our prayers have been answered. Thank the Morning Lord. I didn't think this would happen. If you're here to help, I will give you anything. I will do anything you need. But my sister, Irina, the devil." He whispers again, like looking over his shoulder as he says it. The devil is targeting her. I don't know why. I don't know, but they've laid siege to our house on the other side of town. And I'm just really scared. And my father passed away last night. He was an old man. So it's just me and her now. And maybe I can see that at least a couple of you are devout. Kind of looks at you, Petra, and you, Gabe. Maybe you can help her or cure her some way.
Sure, if Baroness wills it, he will be able to work through me and my sister here. But I have a question. You speak of a devil. There are many devils, young man. Who exactly?
He gulps and says, "The owner of these lands, the Strahd von Serovich. I don't say his name. I shouldn't have said that. He has spies everywhere. He knows everything. He's an evil on this land. He has made everyone's lives miserable."
I can assure you, friend, that in this room, for now...
He glanced nervously over his shoulder at those three women at the other side of the table, who are out of earshot. He says, "Thank you for the reassurance. I'm a little jumpy. I'm technically the burgomaster now, but I'm not ready for these responsibilities. I just want my sister to be safe."
You say he's laying siege to your home?
Yes, he's a vampire. He can't come in, but he has come in. I don't know. I don't understand it. He sends his creatures, bats and wolves, and they attack our house. They've attacked our house a couple times. I live close by. Well, I just feel like she's more vulnerable outside. For whatever reason, I don't think the devil can come in.
Can you guys just move or something?
He laughs. Where to? Volaki and Kresk? No. I cannot move as the burgomaster. These are my people. It's hard, but I have to be the one to give them some sort of hope in this terrible land. But my sister, maybe you can take her with you. There's a town not so far, Volaki, that is bigger than Barovia. There's a church there. It'll be safe from the devil. But I can't go with her.
Is there not a church here that is?
Yes, there is a church here, which we could visit it, but Father Donovich is a busy man these days with his son.
I think I asked this last session. Who is the deity that they worship in this village? I think
they're calling it the Morning Lord. Petra and Gabe, you can both make religion checks.
I'm proficient in religion. Can I make a religion check?
Oh yeah.
18 for me. Whoa, did you get? Oh, yeah. We both attended class that day.
Okay, you don't know anything. You've never heard the Morning Lord, but Petra and Gabe, the Morning Lord is
in unison with one another.
You guys both just set up and say the same thing.
The Morning Lord is a super old school, archaic, no one worships God, or at least an old name for God that you've read about in old textbooks, centuries old. It's very similar to your god, Belinus, except on the kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, whereas the Morning Lord is more of rising sun, Belinus tends to drift towards the twilight. But, similar, very, very similar. And weird that people would worship a god named this, which has not been worshipped in many years.
I would look at Petra and then look at our friend and kind of like nod at Petra. Say, you asked a good question earlier, my friend. Excuse me, I want to know the year. Current year.
He shrugs and says, I'm sorry, we haven't kept track of that. We're barely trying to stay alive. I don't know.
Interesting. And I'm just gonna like say this to Salvatore and Petra out loud. Like I don't really care that he hears. I'm gonna say it's interesting. This village seems archaic, yet that body we found was not century old. Nor is this young man decades old. If his father was the writer of that envelope, time as well.
Yeah, something screwy with time. I remember our carriage. It seemed like it went through some sort of time warp.
Have you? When was the last time you saw your father?
Last night I was in my house with Irina, my sister, and my father, and he was old, and I don't know, the stress of these attacks on our house, he just died in his sleep.
Your father died last night?
Yes.
Did you say this?
He said that. Yeah, he said that like 5 minutes ago.
When I said it,
Keep up, Gabe.
I remember him saying his father died, just not last evening. I apologize.
What? Did something get in and get your father?
No, he's...
Father time.
That's very funny.
Thank you.
No, he died in a way that I can only aspire to, peacefully in his sleep.
That's a luxury that not many people can afford.
If your house is constantly being attacked, how are you here?
It hasn't been attacked in 6 days now. Maybe he's forgotten about us, but I doubt it. He's obsessive.
Has it ever been this long between attacks before?
It was day after day, last couple weeks, and then stopped. I shouldn't even be here at the tavern. It's a moment of weakness. I just needed a moment's respite, but I don't know, I'm desperate.
Yourself, son.
Has anything changed in the last 6 days that may have caused the attacks to cease? Anything you can remember? Anything out of the ordinary?
He shakes his head no. And as he does that, over to Richard in the other side of the bar, the 3 women are pouring you. They're pouring you big glasses of wine. Can you make a perception check? Actually, sure. Investigation. Or which one are you better at?
Not that one.
Don't answer it. You don't have to answer that. You have rights.
I am.
Yeah.
I am equal at both of them.
Okay, yeah, you can choose whichever one, but
I'll do investigation. Why not? That's bad. That's a 10.
Okay. One thing you do notice is that all 3 of these women have matching scars above their eye, and in fact, like as you look deeper, they're not scars, of more like brands, like a little tiny X they're all identical in all 3 women, and something you didn't see in any of the other Vistani you saw. But these women are, trying to feed you alcohol. Are you partaking?
I think I'm pretending that I am, but I'm trying to sleight of hand when they're not looking, the drink a bit.
Okay, right. Roll sleight of hand check.
I'm better at that. Hell yeah. Okay. 16.
Okay. These women are basically fighting each other over you, like calling each other names and trying to get up right next to you. And they keep talking about how they think they know you, like they recognize you, although you don't think you've ever seen these women before. And as you're kind of getting cornered, the bartender Eric walks up to your table with like a big platter with some pitchers of wine, and he takes one and he hands it to you, and he looks you in the eye, kind of bleary-eyed, and says, "Wine." And then turns and goes over to the other side of the room.
I've heard of it, yeah.
GM, is Eric a good-looking man?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
He is like kind of short, 5'2", maybe bald, kind of chubby man.
Dude, come on.
I wonder if they were just collecting.
None of that is prescriptively not good looking. So I don't know.
Yeah.
He looks like he hasn't bathed in a long time. He's got like stains on his clothes, and he's kind of trudging along. Sorvia looks at you, Richard, and says, how about this? You ditch your friends here. They're boring. And you come back up with us. We have a tent, and we have some stories, and we could tell you, and we could just chat around the campfire.
End of camp.
Do it.
Oh man, you three you're such good hosts. You're so good at this hosting thing. It's so weird that you think that you know me as well as you do. I don't know why. This is a pattern with you all. That you think that you've seen me somewhere. Did I maybe come and save your village from an awful beastie beast at some point?
I don't know, but I could see that happening. You're a strapping young boy.
Two words together. I didn't love that combination of words. You know what? You all are so lovely. I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't know if I went in that tent with you all, that we would have the charismatic night that you think we would have.
You see Maribel look over at Sorvia and says, "I told you not to ask him to go to the tent this quickly." And you see Alenka look at you and go, "Are you saying no to us?"
Well, here's the thing. I think you three are just so lovely and wonderful and just so beautiful. I possibly could not. You don't trust me. I've tried. It would not work. It really would not work. But you know who I think would actually really literally charm the pants off of you all? See my friend with the big nice hair, the magic-y fella back to me, Salvatore?
They all look over.
He knows how to do some stuff with a hand. He can do it. He can make a hand appear where the hand isn't actually there. And I think he can do some stuff with water. I don't know how that would factor into the equation, but who knows? I'm just saying.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. I think I'm good at that. Hell yeah, I am really good at that. Dirty 20.
They all look at you and say, "Oh, I see you're playing hard to get. That's fine." They all stand up like one at a time, and they all float over to the other side of the room. Back to the other side.
Are they literally floating?
No, they're not. They're
Okay.
they crawl across the
They
wall.
link arms and then do a cross step.
I was picturing like Tony Collette and Hereditary just like floating.
Oh my god. Terrifying.
I smell children.
Ismark.
Glorious morning.
Ismark looks at all of you and says, we should go. Is that okay? I don't trust these three." And you can see them turning around looking as Eric walks up to your table and places a glass in front of all of you silently, doesn't acknowledge it, and then walks back behind the bar.
Did we drink this? I'll look to Ismark.
Yes, I'm here in Barovia. The wine is our lifeblood. I don't know where we would be without it. Please drink up.
It's not actually blood, right?
He genuinely laughs at that and says, "No. As far as
wasn't a joke.
I understand why you would think that, but no, it's not. It's good. It's good. This is actually
All right.
pretty good wine." He joins you and drinks it. Petra, are you just chomping on this pie?
I'm chomping on pie, listening to the conversation. I'm real sad for this man and his dead father, and I get the pie down, and I would like to offer protection to you and your sister, but we do have some other things that we need to, I think, have answered while we're here. You say that the Vistani aren't to be trusted, but I think we were technically brought here by a Vistani. One who I think feels not in league with this Strahd. Or at least would hope that there's redemption for someone who would waylay this land. We were meant to be brought to a Madame Ava, and I think that may unalign our path with yours.
He seems genuinely touched by your speech, and you see he seems a little bit more optimistic in this moment. You've lifted his spirits with your saying, and he kind of looks around and says, I mean, Madame Ava I believe she's a seer, and I think she could help you. I would just say, be careful. That's, she's not far from Barovia. I can show you, maybe half a day's journey past. Would gladly help you get there. But if you have indeed been brought here by someone else, then I am truly sorry to you, because this is a place that once you come here, you do not leave.
Do you have a map of this land?
I don't, but there's a town nearby, Valaki, that will have maps. It's not that big of a place. Unfortunately, as the burgomaster, I am one of the most powerful people in this valley. Not that I feel like it. Drinking some wine in a dingy bar, but so it goes.
You said that you wanted your sister brought to Valaki. I don't know that we could offer the type of protection that you're asking for if we are diverging our path to speak with Madame Ava along the road, unless you think that your sister would not be in harm's way in that Vistani camp.
Well, maybe we should just ask her. She would know best. Please follow me. And he stands up. As he does, the three Vistani women come dancing over and link arms with you, Salvatore. All right, what's your name, big guy? What's your name?
The name's Salvatore. Salvatore Gianucci. Nice to meet you.
You see one of them looks at you and kind of says, You're so sweet. And you see Sorvia looks at you and says, Are you single?
I'm giving Salvatore 2 thumbs up from the other side of the bar.
I don't have many attachments. You can say I'm single.
Roll a perception check.
Beautiful. 14.
Right behind Sorvia, you see the other two, Alenka and Maribel. You see Alenka lean over and whisper something to Maribel, and you catch what she says, and she says, "Fuck, I don't think that we need to be with this guy. He is ugly as hell." And Sorvia looks at you and kind of strokes your cheek a little bit and says, "All right.
What the fuck? I'm just gonna look at the one who said I was ugly.
Her eyes go wide. What do you mean?
I may be ugly, but I got great ears.
All right. You know what? All of you get out. You guys are harshing the joint. Get out! Get out!
Fuck this place. Fuck you and fuck you. And I'm gonna walk out.
I look at Richard and I shrug and I follow Salvatore out.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Have a good night.
Fine.
I miss Linguini.
He's
Alright.
going to do something.
You head out the door with Ismark, and Ismark leads you through town. It is dark. It is still pouring rain.
Just real quick, I just want to say, just so that as we walk, I would fill Richard in on what our conversation was.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But you,
Okay.
It kind of seems like you've got like information that matches what we heard.
They were all really down for like a party of four situation.
No, they weren't.
I declined the invitation.
Do you tell
that's-
me the thing about the count?
Yes. What did I learn about the count?
You learned that he was keeping. You also learned that he was.
Oh yeah.
So I was
yeah.
I was saying that'd be like.
Yeah, I
so we
think once
heard
you told me.
the same information from two different places.
Yes, exactly. I think like once you told me that, I'm like, oh yes.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. As you travel down the dark streets, you would truly guess that there are probably like
Okay, Tom.
30% of the houses are filled, the rest are abandoned. You do notice there are a couple of ravens on perches of nearby buildings that are just kind of flapping and watching you, like intently watching you. Ismark doesn't seem to pay any mind. In fact, as you're walking down the street, he like kind of catches himself and realizes that you're not from here. So he turns and points to the raven and says, in Barovia, it's bad luck to kill a raven. Ravens are a sign of good luck. So these ravens have put me at ease.
Give it one of the wave. Hello.
Kind of cocks its head at you. And
Can
then
I take out like a little piece of food or something that I would give Linguini and try to...
Oh
one
yeah,
of the
make
ravens?
animal handling.
No, please roll one.
I really want to roll bad. 11.
You see one raven kind of swoop down and quickly grab the food and fly off, and then perch at a nearby building and like looking at you. It's like studying you almost, like kind of, and then like takes a small nibble of the food, and then you can see it like trying to figure out if it likes it, and then eats the rest of it.
A real affinity with things.
What? Just like animals.
We're learning
Ravens
about
are
each
actually
other.
very, very smart creatures.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
They can count to 13.
I'm gonna believe you because I don't know if that's not true.
14
Yep.
is a difficult.
It's a tricky one.
As you're debating the difficulty of pronouncing certain numbers, you make your way up to a weary-looking building that squats behind a rusting iron fence. The iron gates twisted and torn. The right side is thrown to the ground. The left side is swinging aimlessly in the wind. There are weeds choking all around this front garden up against the wall. There's a footpath that has been kind of trampled through these like thorny weeds in the front garden to the front of the house. Every window is out, replaced with boards. On the sides of the wall, there are great black marks and scorch marks and signs of great evil. Your paladin sense is tingling here. But Ismark kind of presses on ahead and questions for you all to follow him, and he opens up the front door.
Is it possible? Can I look at the scorch marks and see if they're like magic, like caused by magic, or if it's more like
yeah. Make investigation.
Okay.
Or Arcana.
They're both the same. And I rolled terrible 9.
You think that they're like it's natural fire, like someone like physically tried to put fire to their house to burn it down.
Hmm.
But Ismark does open the front door and like gesture for you all to join him inside.
Is this your home?
It is. My sister's just inside.
It's a lovely place.
Thank you. He realizes that it's not really a lovely place, but he thanks you, and he leads you
I'm
inside.
not saying it as an asshole. I'm not saying that as an asshole. It's a lovely home.
like it has good bones. Good bones.
Yeah.
As you step inside, the interior of this giant, it's basically a mansion. It's well furnished with kind of beautiful couches and artwork, but I mean, it's shown signs of great wear. Like it has not been taken good care of. There are weird boarded up windows. Every single room has a holy symbol mounted above the wall, a symbol of a rising sun of the Morning Lord. You can see off into one of the side rooms, there is a coffin that has been kind of crudely made, and an older man lies in it in his probably late 80s. Slight smell of decay hits your nose, and you see a striking young woman standing up behind the coffin. She has kind of dark auburn hair, long kind of curly hair, maybe in her late 20s, a little bit younger than you would assume her brother Ismark is. She is kind of wearing some armor and is carrying a rapier. It seems competent in it. And Ismark walks in the door and says, "Irina, thank God. Are you okay? Have you been attacked?" And Irina, this is what she looks like. She goes over and gives Ismark a big hug. And she goes, "Oh, okay. Thank God. Who are these people?" And Ismark says, "They're friends. They're friends. They're going to help us." And gestures for you all to kind of join him surrounding this coffin in this side room.
Wait, my name's Salvatore, and I'm trying to like puff out my chest and look as not ugly as possible.
Okay. Irina actually comes up to you and gives you her hand for like a handshake.
Oh, thank you, and I'll bow.
Oh, please, you don't have to bow. It's okay. My name is Irina Kolyana. I'm sorry to say, but you have caught me at maybe my worst ever moment. Forgive me if I'm a little bashful. Petra, can you make a medicine check?
Yeah.
This guy's not good.
Sure, can I? 18.
You immediately track that Irina looks like she's sick, like she has like the flu. She's a little bit pale. Clearly she looks like she's probably been crying recently. Her eyes are teary, and she looks tired and worn, deeply tired. And at one point, as she comes over and is giving Salvatore a handshake, you see her flip her hair back, and you see on her neck 2 pinpricks. You would instantly recognize these as a fang attack of a vampire.
Has it been more than 10 minutes? Probably has been. I did my last divine sense.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah,
I think it has.
What do I know about vampire fights? And
Okay, yes. All right, you as a monster hunter know a lot.
Actually, in the last 6.
You know, this is actually make a history check with advantage.
Sure. History check with
Entertainment 720.
30-20.
30-20. Okay, you know that first of all, vampires. You have come across vampires before in your life as a monster hunter. Not a lot. Most of the vampires that you have come across are secluded shut-ins, like living in the sewers underneath cities, rather than feral creatures or counts in castles. But still, you'd assume that the logic is the same, in that vampires will regenerate if they do not get attacked by radiant or holy water, or if they're in sunlight or running water. That's all true. Let's see. A vampire cannot enter a residence without being invited, which you gather is why Irina was inside of the house, but seemingly safe enough for Ismark to leave her here. Stake to the heart is true. Sunlight sensitivity. These are all basically any vampire myth that you know is true about vampires. In regards to the specific bites of Irina, she has been bitten twice, you can tell, but she is not a vampire. Although if she were to be bit again, she most certainly would turn into a vampire spawn. But she's right on the precipice. But for some reason, normally a vampire can turn a creature into a spawn immediately, but it's almost like she's being like led along or dragged along.
Favored, maybe even.
Yep. All right, that's what you know. But she walks up to all four of you and introduces herself as Irina.
Put one arm behind my back and do like the kiss her hand. Terribly sorry for the loss of your father. It must be absolutely devastating for you.
Thank you. You don't have to bow to me. We're equals here.
While they're doing their meeting, I would quickly explain to Gabriel the situation with the bite and what my assessment was of that. It's like any more attacks on her, she'll turn.
Seems like someone's playing with their food.
That's my thought. Irina, do you have any memories of being attacked or close to this Count?
I am embarrassed to say that I don't really remember. It's all hazy. He had me in like a charm. I didn't even know what I was doing. It was terrifying. I would be lying if I said I was not scared.
That's what I suspected, actually. I know they like to play mind games.
But why me? I'm just, I'm the burgomaster's daughter, yes, but I mean, this is a pathetic small town in the wake of his castle, but I don't understand why me. I don't know. I
don't mean to be dismissive, nor do I mean to flatter, but you are a somewhat striking human. I think that he may have taken fancy with you.
Oh, well, lucky me, I guess.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
This with the death of your father, I'm sure. It's a lot to bear.
Can I ask you all a huge favor? I know it's asking a lot, of course, but my father's just died, and I would feel better if he was properly buried in the church. Would you help me? It's not far down the road. Would you help me? We can grab the father and provide a ritual and bury him. It would be helpful.
Sure. I mean, absolutely, of course. I will say I've been told it's not really a good idea to go outside at night. So is this a task you think could maybe wait until morning?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good idea. You're welcome to stay the night here in our house, and then we'll all go first thing in the morning.
I think it's better for everyone. That is
a long day.
I'm not going back to that fucking tavern
if they let us back.
Irina looks at Ismark and kind of playfully hits him in the shoulder and goes, Ismark, did you go to that tavern again? And Ismark goes, yes, they've got the Dragon Crush. And she says, come on, I tell him all the time, don't go in that tavern. He just sits in the back and gets mad and broods. You're such a brooder.
He was brooding when we came up to him.
That is how we found him.
Was it because the ladies weren't like all up on you? Were you like sad about it?
Oh, leave the young man alone. And I come up and I put a hand on his shoulder. Everyone deserves a little bit of brood.
Thank you. I am a brooder. That's how I cope. I'm sorry.
I'm a brooder as well. Unashamedly, I brood.
Yeah. We're brood brothers.
Well.
He gives you a predator handshake.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I shake his hand, but then when I just maybe subconsciously just wipe my hand on my.
Hand sanitizer.
Yeah. I think for the safety of all of us, if you wouldn't mind, I would like to kind of go about the home, look at entrances, exits, make sure that we're safe here.
Of course. We have an extra couple rooms down the hall, and you can feel free to take a bed. It is getting late, so I am probably going to sleep myself. I'm in the back room. Strahd hasn't come in a couple days, so hopefully we'll be safe tonight.
I do believe.
What are the odds?
Buddy system. Richard, would you maybe get...
Sure, absolutely. I totally was going to check the exits and entrances as well. I got it.
I would say, if anyone knocks, don't invite them.
That's a very good piece of
Unless it's the really cool old woman with the pie.
That's what I was about to say. What if she had more pies?
She rocks. I really like her.
Very.
Rena says, "Oh, did you bought a pie from Granny?"
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've never had it. I don't know. I know a lot of people in town buy it every time. She's got faithful customers. She actually lives not too far down the road in a windmill, so she kind of comes into town occasionally. She's nice, but I've never tried the pie.
Oh, I'll get into my bag and I'll produce the apple pie that I bought and I'll hand it to Arena. As a token of my sympathy, please. I think it smells fantastic. I think, please.
Well, we can all have it.
Pie if you want to munch on my meat pie with me.
She goes and grabs some plates.
Ooh, man.
So, I mean, wow.
That was dark. That was really
Munch on
good.
my meat pie.
What did I say?
You see Ismark say, "Hey, maybe we should. Okay,
Hey, that's
we'll
my
leave
sister."
my father's body down here, and we'll eat some pie in the other room, of course."
That's smart.
Arena sets a table with a bunch of plates, and she sets the pie down, and she takes some silverware and cuts it into slices, and puts it on the plates, and hands it to all of you.
Does Petra look sick at all after eating that pie?
I don't take
Does
any
Petra
pie.
look okay?
I'm taking a piece. I'm eating it.
She's I've never had it, but what kind of pie is it?
Apple was the kind that I bought.
She takes a bite of the apple pie. She goes, "Oh my gosh, it's incredible."
They're really good, right?
Incredible.
Yeah.
You have a nice time eating your pie. Are you eating your meat pie?
Yeah.
All right.
I am.
What kind of meat was it? Deer?
I think it was deer.
Yeah.
It was
That's
deer.
what she said.
Yeah. Your pie, even though you bought it a while ago, is still hot somehow.
Nice.
And it's incredible, truly incredible. Arena is also grabbing some of your pie. Ismark's not partaking. He's just kind of standing awkwardly back in the back with Gabriel.
Now, I've had deer before.
Yeah.
Presumably.
Yeah.
Does it taste like deer?
Yeah. Make a insight check.
I don't like that. 14.
I mean, tastes like deer. You have had deer before. This is the best deer you've ever had. It's not truly, truly incredible. But you just kind of find yourself snacking away at it. Ismark, at one point, goes up to you, Gabriel, and he says, "So, I had kind of the elephant in the room, but I don't know. Are you do you worship the Morning Lord? You don't, do you?"
worship what I think is aversion. See, I feel no reason to be dishonest with you, my friend. I feel like I come from a time Rovia did not exist. This place, as you know, has magical means of keeping in. I also think that same magic supported time somewhat. You see, what I know of your Morning Lord is information that I read in ancient.
He kind of looks confused and looks to you and says, I've dreamed about you.
Me?
Yes, a couple nights, I swear you've been in my dreams. Not
Tell me more.
as you now, but you were like an angel. I don't know. You came down and you helped save our village. I don't know. I just knew. I couldn't believe it was you.
Not me. Sorry. But not a bit.
Okay.
And I
I'm sorry.
walk away. Start checking in.
All right.
He goes, I'm going to follow him because that's the test we're going to.
All right, both of you make perception checks.
Can I give...
You want to give me an
yeah,
advantage?
can I give advantage? Is that cool?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I have a +0.
Okay. 17.
Okay. It is this Burgomaster house.
Oh, 18. Excuse me, 18.
Okay.
That
You find 7 secret doors now.
Just kidding. Whoa!
Just trying to be accurate.
The Burgomaster mansion is 2 floors. There is a lot of kind of guest bedrooms. There's like a waiting hall. There's a dining room, living room, nicely appointed, but like I said, signs of great wear. There's holes in parts of the wall, and the roof is caved in other parts in disrepair. So it would be hard to guard, small creatures from flying in some of the smaller holes in the roof.
Yeah.
But as far as the doors to the building, they are securely locked. All the windows are securely fastened. It would take quite a siege to get in through the front door.
Seems to be protected.
Yeah. So you want to talk about why you got all in a huff there?
Oh, no, just I feel for the family. Very disappointing and frustrating. Find ourselves. And
Insight check.
Oh yeah, okay, sure. Make an insight check.
I'm
We
gonna
got an
roll a
insight?
die.
No. Nat 1 for me, so
Okay, well, I
so
got
a 3.
yeah, I got a 17.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
17 what?
1,000.
Let me tell you this. I'll tell you this. They're both the same. But
It's been a weird. It's been a weird.
it's just been a lot, But I will say, and I kind of just like look around, making sure that we're just alone, the two of us.
Mhm.
It's a pleasant surprise. Have stuck with me, I must say.
Could be worse. So, you been good? Been doing some good stuff lately?
Yeah, I've been all right. Still wandering.
Life is terribly glamorous and can be exhausting, and people are constantly like coming up to me. And I mean, you saw those women in the tavern.
Yes.
It's just,
No surprise.
of course. Okay. In the whole realm of things are really weird and shitty lately, those 3 ladies and then a little child at the place back in Daggerfall, also that they knew me somehow, but they didn't know how they knew me. That's a bit strange. But I'm fairly certain I haven't saved their life.
But I don't want to get into details, but Ismark, before I walked away, he said something of hide something outrageous if you seems that this area, these people know things. Strange. I can't explain it. And then I kind of like very briefly talk about what Petra and I discovered. Well, what Petra discovered to fill me in. Wait, no, yeah, we rolled. That was the roll that we rolled the same. But yeah, what Petra and I discovered about, you know, just the Morning Lord and the time and everything.
So, I'm going to be honest, I don't want to get into details with you about this, but these dreams that we've all been having leading up to this. The woman we've been dreaming, this Madam Ava, I'm assuming is the woman in our dreams.
Right.
She talked to you about things that, like, literally no one else.
Talked to. Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Be honest, you met me in a time of my life when I was maybe not as devout.
You were really sad.
As you, yes. I have replaced some of that sadness. I know how that can seem. But I just want you. I'm still. I don't know. I just want to say that, but I also wanted to say that it. As a result of that, it feels like. Do you believe in destiny?
Not really. I kind of think it's what we make of it. I think some of us are given a really shitty hand.
Right. Of course.
That's just how it is.
Well, when I make this, you're supposed. I don't know what that.
You maybe. Petra certainly. Definitely has a supposed to do important things quality about her.
Yeah, definitely gonna change the world vibe.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm included in this.
But I think you have more to offer than you have credit for.
I'm good at some things, not so much.
I remember you being good at quite a few things, and I kind of like keep.
Okay. We're going to continue to talk about that, because I have some follow-up questions about that.
Well, we should probably check on the rest of the group.
Irina eventually stands up and she's like, "Oh, I have eaten my weight in pie. I'm gonna head to sleep. How about first lights? We get together, and I would be grateful if you'd help me with my father."
Of course. I hope you don't find this to be intrusive or weird at all, but if it's all right with you, I think I might sleep outside your door this
Really?
evening.
Make a persuasion check.
Not outside the house.
I assume inside the house.
I know.
Oh, that's even weirder, man.
Yeah, 10.
The more specific you get, the weirder it gets.
Irina kind of comes over to you and kind of rubs your shoulder a little bit and goes, "Thank you, I appreciate it, but you don't have to sleep on the floor. There's a bed there. I'll be fine. I am capable of defending myself if I need be, and if I'm attacked, I'll call you out. I promise."
Of course.
No problem.
And like,
well, I need to
join back the group a bit like under my breath to Salvatore. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
I'll murmur to Gabe like, "Well, I need a roommate."
I just nod my head.
Salvatore and Petra, where do you sleep?
I make the bedroll and lay it out. like near the front door. And I also take a piece of rope and tie a bell to it and tie that to the front door as well.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Clever girl.
I'll crash on the couch. I'm not too picky.
Okay.
I do want to. Do I have the materials to cast Find Familiar again?
What are the components?
It's 10 gold piece worth of charcoal, incense, and herbs.
Yeah. You've got that.
That are consumed. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll do that before bed.
Okay. You're
Takes
casting.
an hour.
Okay. So you all head to sleep. You take
just
an hour.
Me chanting.
Yeah, a ritual chant. And after an
Good
hour.
night, Salvatore. Good luck with your incense.
In a Halavadka.
Bang, bang, bang.
So are you summoning Linguini?
I am summoning Linguini the Hawk. Yes.
Right. After the hour, there's some. Hold on, I need some music.
Oh no! What's about to happen?
All right. You take the full hour with open up your big giant kind of tome that you carry with you. With to someone reading this tome that isn't a wizard, it looks like chicken scratch. There's shorthand. Really, it's like you're the only person that can really read this. There's like all experiments of different spells that you're trying to cast. It's chaotic, but it's yours, even though you had technically inherited this book from someone else. But just flip to the page with Find Familiars, take the time to get out the components, read over the arcane runes a couple times, practicing the words and the rhythms, and then finally.
Last time he was missing a beak, I really got to make sure I get this right.
Yes, you're like taking notes. You're after inciting the incantation. There's a puff of smoke, and on your shoulder is Linguini the Hawk, just as it was before. And he kind of looks at you, kind of like stares at you, and like shuffles and fluffs his wings, and just kind of stares ahead, sitting on your shoulder.
That you, Linguini? Are you in there?
Make a insight check.
Can I talk to it? Ugh. 6.
It looks at you. You can communicate with it, but Linguini has never talked to you. But you understand like its movements and its body language, and it kind of nods its head. Seems like it's normal. It's nothing wrong. Kind of nuzzles into your neck a little bit.
Why don't you take watch on the roof? Let me know if you spot anything out there.
Right. It takes off and flies up out of one of the holes in one of the rooms, out of sight. And you all find yourself
I'm just
asleep.
laying there. Oh, Jesus.
Pasta sauce.
Richard, you have a vivid dream. You are sitting in a box seat at a sporting event, right in the front of this beautiful view of this chariot race that is happening before you. The contestants are waving your hands. You look across to see noble dignitaries from far off lands sitting across from you, the same row as you, Richard Charming. You'd like take a second, I belong here. And then you reach over and take your hand and grab his hand. Look over and you see him. He kind of smiles and looks back at you, and you look back at everything around in front of you. And take note of, this is the most beautiful moment you have ever been in. You take a second to remember that second. And you wake up the next morning with a start. Salvatore, your dream equally vivid, almost lucid. You are sitting in a dingy basement. It is cold and wet, but home to you. There are components strewn all across the floors, all around you, scorch marks on the walls. You haven't slept in 4 days. You're kind of feverishly trying to read these runes for the first time, trying to understand what this is. You decide this time I'm going to do it. You take out the charcoal needed for the components. This is the first time I'm going to get it right. And you cast the Find Familiar spell. The Linguini pops on your shoulder. The first time you've actually cast a non-cantrip spell. A huge moment for a wizard. You are a wizard. You're not just someone who might be able to do low-level party parlor tricks. And then you wake with a start. Back inside the dreary mansion of the burgomaster. Petra, you're on all fours out in the woods, deep forest. There's tracks in front of you. You've never been... counting tracks maybe has never been your most favorite part of monster hunting, but it's a necessary duty, and you determine that these tracks are leading you to a potential werewolf in the area. It has been gnawing, taking children from a nearby school, and you follow the tracks to the cave and you see the werewolf sleeping on its side, unaware of you approach. And you take this moment above the werewolf, trying to decide what is the righteous thing to do. Hold your axe or your sword up. You think about how good it is to be worshiping your God and being able to help a community like this. And as you strike your sword down, you wake with a start in the morning. Gabe, you have no dream. And you were all awakened to find Irina at your door. She goes, she's like rubbing her eyes and goes, all right, sorry it's so early. I made some eggs if you want some for breakfast.
You got any coffee?
No, we have wine. Are you a morning drinker?
Perfect. Yep. Yeah, I mean, any time of day.
Hey, I just want you to know I'm not judging.
Great.
She grabbed you a bottle of wine. And you see Ismark looks to you, Gabe, and says, can you help me carry the coffin? It's just down the street. It's not a far walk.
Of course, yeah. We'll meet you at the cemetery. And I look to Richard and kind of give a look of like, keep your eyes open. And keep your eyes open. I'll meet you at the cemetery.
Yeah.
Right?
Always.
On a swivel, love. And I make my way to the foyer.
Okay, you make your way to the foyer. Ismark grabs Ismark grabs the coffin, and then Irina says, we should all just kind of stick together. We'll take it over to the church. And Ismark grabs the coffin with you, Gabe, and you make your way down the street. It is morning, but completely overcast. You have yet to see the sun in your time in the town of Barovia. Lightly drizzling. It is fall, so it is kind of blusterily cold, kind of wind-swept, abandoned streets. But you do come pretty quickly to the edge of town, where you see a giant church that is set upon right on the edge of town. It's snuggled up right on the edge of the giant stone pillar that the castle sits on. The castle is 400-500 feet right above you at this point. It sits on this giant pillar of earth that sticks straight up from the ground right at this place. And the church is kind of snuggled right up against the base of this pillar. It is a old, weathered church with a bell tower in the top, but it is the walls are caved in places. The roof is falling apart. It looks in bad shape. But Arena and Ismark carry on, open the front door to the church, and you see inside. It is a rather large building, but the first part as you walk in is an entryway hallway that is dark and unlit, although there are 4 closed doors in this hallway before it eventually opens up into a large, brightly lit chapel, probably 60 feet down the way. And you can hear that there is someone in the chapel reciting a soft prayer under their breath.
Right, first, often simple.
Yes, we should. Ismark takes the lead and starts carrying the coffin. As you approach this open chapel, you find there is a single man here. He is a little bit older. He is wearing priest's garb, all whites, kind of robe tied off, and wearing a small mitre, a priest hat that sticks up above. And he has a book open and his hand is trembling as he stands over it. You hear him muttering, "Morning, Lord, please answer my prayer. Save my son. Please, I pray to you night and day." And he opens his eyes and looks back as you take the coffin in. And Ismark motions Gabe for you to set the coffin kind of next to the altar.
Yeah, might do so.
And Ismark, Arena actually walks over to Father and says, "Father Donovich, please, we're here to help bury my father, if you would assist." And you look, and Father Donovan kind of looks up and looks at all of you. He looks haggard. He looks like he has not slept in days, if not weeks. He is gaunt and frail and sickly and looks like he has been sobbing. He's a broken man. And he looks at you and goes, and then his eyes fixate on you, Gabe. And as you step into the chapel and set down the coffin, let's say when you first look up to see, there is a stained glass mural on the backside of this church. It is a giant display that takes up most of the back wall, very impressive stained glass, and it depicts a scene. It is a outdoor kind of landscape, and in the foreground of the stained glass mural looks like churchgoers or believers, people on their hands and knees looking up, praying. And you see in the back part of the mural is the giant sun that is coming up over the horizon. Massive, brilliant colors and oranges and reds, some blues, and it looks like these people are kind of praying to this sun. And this particularly catches your attention, Gabe. Right in the center, standing facing these people on the ground, hands, arms wide open, as if standing as a conduit to the sun itself, is a human man with dark black hair and looks to your eyes exactly like you. And the Father Donovich looks to you in this moment and his eyes go wide, and he comes over to you and gets on his hands and knees and grabs your hand, and he says, oh my gosh, my prayers have been answered. Please help my son. Please help my son.
Father, please take a deep breath. What's wrong? What happened with your son?
Please, my son, he's a monster. Can you help him? He's down in the basement. I've locked him in there.
Petra?
Tell us more about what has happened to your son. You say he's a monster.
He was a good boy, but 2 years ago now, the devil came down and he took him. I was distraught. My son was gone. I prayed for him to return every day, and a week later he did return, but he was different. He's a monster now. I had to lock him down there. He's been in there for 2 years, but I can't let him out. I can't let him out.
You say that Strahd turned him.
He nods. He did. Can you help? Turns to you, Gabe. Can you make him normal again, please? Please, I'm begging you.
I can free your son from this.
His eyes are watering. He says, Yes.
I gave a look of like, you're like, no, you mean kill him.
And I nod. I do like one solemn like nod. Yeah.
Because would I know anything about the reversal of vampire spawning?
Make a history check with advantage.
Okay. Oh my god. A 19.
If this boy has been turned into a vampire spawn, it is irreversible as far as you know.
Yeah.
And in fact, you hear him say that he's been down there for 2 years, which is alarming to you because, of course, he is undead now and he cannot die from starvation. But you do know that he can definitely feel the agony of being on the brink of starving for 2 straight years. This kid must be living on hell down in this basement, trapped without any food. You could satiate this vampire and turn him less, kind of frenzied, ravening into a normal-ish person, but that would take the consumption of a lot of blood.
I unsheath my battle axe. Show me the door, Father.
What the fuck, bro?
He looks at you and goes, "Please, don't kill him. Don't kill him. You cannot kill him, please."
If your son is now vampire, sorry. Easiest way to end his suffering is to end his life.
No, please, you must turn him back normal. I'm begging you.
Father, your son died 2 years ago. This creature is something that has taken over his body. This is not your son.
Make a persuasion check. Also you, Gabe, because you're persuading as well.
19 for me.
It's 10 for me.
He looks to you, Gabe, and he's the only reason you think he's allowing you to kill his son is that he thinks that you're like the coming of the morning lord. You see him weeping in your presence, pathetic. It's pathetic. He's at your feet, kissing your shoes. It's he's a desperate man, and he kind of steps back and he says, "The trap door's on the other side of the door."
I just walk immediately to it.
Father, okay. Why don't you stay back here with Irina and the body?
Irina goes over and puts her hand around Father Donovich and is comforting him or maybe distracting him in some way. Gabe, you march straight over to the door. What are the rest of you doing?
From beneath my robes, I pull out a large silvered maul that I have.
Okay.
Make my way towards the trapdoor as well.
As you head to the trapdoor, it is a wooden latched door, although you see there is a key kind of laying nearby where you could undo the latch and head to some sort of basement. But as you do walk over, you do hear, coming from below you, "Father, please, I'm starving. I'm starving. You're killing me, Father. You're killing me, Father." And you see Father Donovich rocking, hands to his ears.
I would like to put the key in the latch and undo it and open it up. And as soon as I see him, I want to cast Divine Sense.
Okay, make a persuasion check.
waiting the door to open.
14.
Sorry, I meant perception.
So 10.
Okay, you come down. It's dark in this room, and you kind of hear some scuttering, and you see off to the side, kind of in the corner, you see this kid cowering. He is, let's see, I think I have his, this.
I know there's a picture of him.
Oh, Shiza.
I think he just needs a nap.
He is holding his head. He looks maybe he's 15, kind of lanky kid. Blood on his dried blood on his chin from he's like chewed through part of his lip. Frail, gaunt, frenzied. His eyes are wide and looks like almost fear as you come in. He starts panting.
Do I get a ping of undead off my divine sense?
Your divine sense registers a strong undead from this guy.
Then I would just say, child, your father thinks me sent from Belinus, and I am. He is not what but I am not what he thinks I am. And I take out, and I already have my battle shield axe. I take out my shield, and then in Celestial, I say, "For I am sent to punish," and my eyes go completely black, and from my back, 2 black skeletal wings pierce through the armor and the cloak, and come out as I use my necrotic shroud feature.
Nice.
And he needs to make a charisma saving throw.
Okay, so I am going to roll basically every roll I do. I'll say 95% of my rolls we rolled in roll 20. So if you guys want to
okay, let me get it to the stream.
Did the rest of us see?
I definitely don't.
I said I was following him down.
Yeah, I think I'm
was-
right. I think I'm right there
Yeah.
below you guys. And I do that right in front of you. Yeah.
what kind of check is it?
It is going to be a charisma saving throw.
Okay.
I immediately attack Gabe.
He rolls a 12.
Damn it! The DC was 12, so he is not frightened by me. But I am going to be able to do an extra 3 points of necrotic damage. On
Okay, it's your turn. We'll say that you have a surprise round on him because he is seems scared shitless in your presence.
Yeah, I just like yell at him, like almost like a feral scream as I sprint forward and take my battle axe, and I'm just gonna swing it at him.
All right, roll an attack.
Because I have him surprised, do I have advantage?
No.
Okay, so that's gonna be an 8.
That misses.
All
What a sick one-liner beforehand. Though, man.
Okay.
Sick presentation. Thank
you.
It is going to retaliate.
Of course.
And he reaches out and is going to attack you twice.
Okay.
Once with his claws.
Okay.
Oh.
Nope, misses with an 8.
Yep, that misses.
And then once he's going to reach out with his fangs and try to bite you.
Ooh.
14 to hit.
That misses.
All right, he's kind of wild and swinging. The rest of you, what are you doing?
Petra
down
was
there.
already walking towards that hole with the mall.
Okay,
Are-
I'm gonna say,
are they
everyone
in the hole
roll
or
initiative.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are they in the hole or are they out of the hole?
24.
Nice.
I get to add my intelligence modifier to my
Ooh,
knowledge.
what's that?
Matt Mercer's Chronergy magic.
Oh,
Ooh,
cool.
hell yeah, those are awesome.
19 for me.
Okay.
31.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Do you have the alert feat?
I thought my 19
I have the
was-
alert feat, and swashbucklers add their charisma on top of their dexterity.
You're a human variant.
Salvatore, what'd you get?
24.
And Petra, what'd you get?
15, which is the
Which is
lowest.
good.
Yeah.
Maybe we did pretty well.
Okay, first up is Richard. You see
That's
this
right, guys. I'm
incredible
a
feat.
fallen Asimar.
You see this incredible
Jimmy
feat with
Fallon Asimar.
fallen ass. It is your
Face down.
turn.
Okay, so
Stop.
I have, with my 30 feet of movement, would I be able to hop down there and get to?
Yeah, he's
Vampire
10
child?
feet. He's 10 feet from the bottom. Easily.
Oh yeah, I'll get down there, run at him. Could I get in a place where I would be able to like flank him with
Yes.
to get advantage?
Yes, he seems preoccupied with the bony winged creature in front of him.
Nice. So I'm just gonna make my attack with my rapier with advantage. I'm pretty sure that's gonna hit. 17 plus 6.
Yep, hits.
Yep, cool. So that's gonna be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus sneak attack,
Yep.
which I think is just 2d6. Yeah. So that's 10, 16 total.
All right. What kind of weapon are you using?
Rapier.
Okay, you take your rapier and you stab it into his side, and he kind of screeches, and you pull the sword out, and you see immediately the wounds begin to close almost instantaneously. He definitely is hurting from it, but he seems slightly resistant.
Oop, all right then. And then if I have any more movement, because swashbucklers have fancy footwork, which is basically mobile, just without the extra 10 feet, I'll use whatever movement I have to back far away into a corner as I can.
Okay, you
If I have any.
stab him and back away unprovoked. Okay, Salvatore, it is your turn. You're muted.
I am
Oh.
muted. I am.
No, you're not
to,
muted.
Not muted. I will go down there and start speaking in tongues as this spectral hand comes out and grabs for him. I'm going to cast Chill Touch.
Okay.
That's what it sounds like, Caleb.
That's a natural 20.
Hey!
Oh, hell yeah, nice.
Hey! Sounds like one of the aliens from
cancer.
Coneheads.
So that'd be 2d8 then, right? Necrotic damage, and it can't regain hit points until the start of my next turn.
Nice.
And if it's undead, it also has disadvantage on attack rolls against me until the start of my next turn.
Nice, great.
I think that spell would
9
be less
points
effective.
of 9 points of necrotic damage. I don't know if it's resistant to necrotic damage though.
You do notice that it does seem to be resistant, although he's not regenerating the hit points like he just did with the sword. So you have prevented that aspect of him. But all right. Anything else?
I would just try to get as far away from. It's 120 feet. I don't know how big the room is. It's 120 feet range. So I'll just try to be as far away.
Okay, so it's like 30 by 30, so you kind of scurry off 30 feet into a direction. Gabe, it is your turn again.
I will say in Celestial, kind of screaming almost, if you can hear me count, I am going to free this boy. And I am going to use my Channel Divinity Vow of Enmity, give me advantage on attack rolls against him as a bonus action.
Nice.
And then I'm going to swing at him. Swing at him with my battle axe. Back for advantage. That is a 22 to hit.
Yep.
I am going to pump a Divine Smite into this. And that's going to be a total of 3d8 since he is undead. On top of my d8 for the battle axe. Do I need to separate out the radiant damage?
Yes, please.
Okay, so radiant damage is 15. He takes 9 slashing damage from a non-magical weapon and 3 necrotic damage.
Okay, damn.
So
Okay,
I'll
cool.
give that to you again
Okay.
one more time just in case. Radiant 15, 9 slashing, 3 necrotic.
What is your weapon that you use? A battle axe?
It's a battle axe, yeah, and I like to think that it is I know that battle axes typically are double bladed, but I'd like to imagine it almost as a circular blade. That the design engraved on it is that of a rising sun.
Nice.
As I swing it.
All right. Your rising sun battle axe digs into it, and the radiant surges all around his body, lights up his face, screams in blood-curdling agony. And then, is that your turn?
Yeah, that was my action. Bonus action. I'm not going to move anywhere. That's my turn.
It is its turn. Kind of looks at you like staggered, almost dead, and it kind of looks scared. You can see it in its eyes. And it is going to use its turn to run past you try to run up the stairs.
Oh, shit.
You get an attack of opportunity if you want
for sure.
it.
I cannot let him get upstairs. That's a 11.
Do you have advantage? Don't you?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, because it's vow of enmity. I just get him on all attacks against this creature. That's barely any better. 14.
That hits.
Nice. Okay, so we're gonna do pretty good. 6 + 3 is 9 points of slashing damage.
Gabe, you look at this scared, almost teenage boy. He looks at you in he's almost not even scared. He's in awe. You almost feel like you're hovering 10 feet over this kid. It just feels immense as you carve into it with your battle axe. And as it tries to run away up out of the room, desperate, just trying to survive, you cut it down and it falls to the ground, turns into ash, into dust, and then blows away. Nothing left.
As that happens, I fall to my knees. My eyes come back to normal. My wings dissipate in a wisp of smoke, and I catch him as he falls, and then he just turns into ash in my arms, there on my knees.
Holy shit! That was some holy shit.
In Celestial, I say rest in peace.
The guiding bolt that I was preparing slowly powers down.
Come on, man.
That was intense.
That was fucked up.
I'm sorry. That frightened.
A warning would have been
Didn't mean-
nice.
I didn't mean you were fucked up. I meant the child.
Oh, I think so.
Died.
Yes, no, that was fucked up. I thought Salvatore definitely. I was fucked.
Not you so much an Oleg situation,
Oh, well, wonderful. We all get to know each other more, being stuck in this place.
Is anyone else not a human?
I'm a frog. I'm just kidding. That was dumb. I'm gonna walk upstairs.
I go to Father.
I look at you, Richard, as they
Prince.
both walk up, and I just say, "Oh, very far off from."
Give it to Jason.
Hope you don't. Never thought I'd see.
You seriously think I care about that? About you being...
Kind of blame you for thinking of.
Oh, boo-hoo, I'm even more hot than I was before. Your life is so difficult.
All right, we should go
Get
back
up, come on.
upstairs.
Let's go talk about you being on a portrait on a church.
We should figure that out for sure.
Yep.
As
Do we
you
notice that everybody looks like Gabe on the walls?
Yeah, you do know
Okay.
for sure. You notice.
Everyone looks like Gabe on the walls.
No, there's only
Just
there's
a
only
bunch of like
Family portraits.
Talking to Gabe.
yeah, like some goofy ones. Yeah.
It's like the Cheers opening, but they're all Gabe.
There's actually only one stained glass mural in this entire place, and it's the giant one on the back. The image of Gabe is like maybe 6 feet tall up on the wall. It's this giant thing. As you climb up the stairs and head back to the chapel, you see Irina has sat Father Donovich off to the side and is just consoling him, and kind of looks at you all and like says something and steps up to you, and she says, maybe we should just do the burial ceremony without him. We should leave him to his grief, I think.
I think that would be for the best.
All right. Ismark is already out back with the coffin. Please follow me.
I would just, as we leave, I can approach face and just kneel down and put a hand on his back as he cries. So sorry that it came to this. Take light in the fact that your son is peaceful.
Make a persuasion check.
19.
You see him fight the urge to slap your hand away when you put it on it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. And he looks at you bleary-eyed through tears, and he just kind of like takes a few deep breaths and shakes his head and doesn't respond.
I take that as a cue to,
All right. You head out to the back into a somewhat large graveyard plot surrounded by an iron fence on all sides. There are mausoleums and gravestones, all mostly broken, scattered, the headstones gone, impossible to know who most of these people are. They're just buried on top of each other at this point. But you do see that Ismark has picked out a plot and has dug a hole and asks you, Gabe, to help him lower his father into the hole.
Of course.
Okay, and you, with your combined strength, lower him into the bottom and cover him up. And Ismark looks at you, Gabe, and Petra, and he says, I am, of course, religious, but I've never been a preacher. Do either of you know a burial prayer that you can sanctify this ground with?
Yeah, I was gonna say, while this goes on, I do cast the spell ceremony, performing,
Hell yeah.
which does for the next 7 days make it so that he can't be turned undead by any means short of a wish spell. It says.
You take the time uttering some sayings of your god Belinus that are strangely familiar to Irina and Ismark in some ways, and you spread some holy water across the site. And as you're saying this prayer, you do see poking up from the dirt is a yellow flower, brilliant, vibrant yellow, the most color you've seen since you've been here.
Single tear.
Richard, as you're scanning around, you're always on alert.
I'm sorry, Matt. I'm so sorry, but no.
You're always on alert, of course, with your alert feat, but just kind of head on a swivel. Make a perception check.
Okay. Sorry, still getting used to what my stats are. 19.
As you're looking, you can see the fog, the encroaching fog is just kind of gathering around the outsides of the fence, like almost constricting. and suddenly you can't see the rest of the village of Barovia. It's just kind of fog.
Gabe, darling,
Yes.
I think your wish down there is about to come true. A little summoning act.
And as you're scanning, Richard, you almost miss him. It's so subtle in the fog, but there's a figure. Seems tall, wearing all black, standing right at the threshold outside of the gate. Watching, and to your eye seems to be saying a silent prayer to himself.
So
Where's Arena?
Yeah, you brought our attention to this?
Yeah, I would have.
Arena's standing right next to you.
Okay, great. I will, against my better judgment, I'll put myself subtly between Arena and this person.
Oh there, friend.
The figure looks up, and steps back, and disappears into the fog. As that happens, the air is interrupted with the sound of a single bell, bong, that comes from the nearby chapel.
Did anybody recognize that fellow that was just looking in on us?
Did we see a face, or was it more of a silhouette?
Silhouette.
Well, I don't want to be presumptuous, but if I had to put two and two together, fog,
That was him.
spooky person, plus Gabriel actively challenging him just a few moments ago.
That wasn't Celestial. You know Celestial?
Oh, never mind then.
But I kind of record. I said it in English because I like that.
English?
Yeah, English, fucker.
The Lord's language.
Well, I didn't expect him to. Should I
Really?
go?
Really, his castle's right there. You can turn into bats.
Should I go? Go check?
If that was
Into the fog?
you want to go running into the fog.
Right. Okay, so it's not a good idea then.
What kind of a something also?
I know.
What was that bell?
I'm
that
exactly.
bell,
I'm worried that something happened to the father.
That's what I would probably want to go check out first.
Yeah. Do you know what that bell symbolizes? I'll look at Arena and his
It's
I
one.
mean, there's the father rings it occasionally when he performs marriages, but of course that's few and far between. I've actually haven't heard it in a while.
We should go check it out, yeah.
Gabe, as you're kind of leading up the expedition to head back into the chapel, you step inside and you see it is a little different than you last saw. Swinging gently in the center of the room, attached to the rope that is connected to the bell at the top, you see Father Donovich's lifeless body. You also see that the mural, the stained glass mural, has also changed or been altered since you last saw it. The religious people who are kneeling at the bottom before, who were so determined and committed, are now nothing but bones and debris scattered across the ground. The sun that was in the back that used to be so welcoming and inviting and warm is now dead and cold, casting shadows. But the only thing that has not changed is the figure of you with your arms stretched, almost laughing at the destruction around you. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
What?
Gabe, what did you do?
Oh my god. Can I just ask one quick question before we officially stop?
Yeah.
Does his body look
The floor's been
fresh?
closed.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was
He
like,
just hung himself.
I know, but what I was thinking is like, was this like a time thing? Like we were just talking to ghosts this whole time, and like they were actually already dead. Anyway, sorry. Wow.
Cool.
Fantastic.
Wow.
It's ending.
I love puppies.
Aren't they great? I genuinely got
Well,
chills. That was dope.
thank you guys for playing. That was fun. Keep an eye on the CharmedPersons Twitch/YouTube, because we are coming out with more D&D, Monster Hearts, lots of good stuff. That's it. That's it. That's all I got. All right.
Great.
Like always, everyone say